Nicholas was charged with first-degree murder and armed criminal action. And what he...
I've been, so worried, sick with Gypsy.
Okay, we're going to talk about Gypsy.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Gypsy, okay?
Okay.
Because I know you got a lot of questions.
I've been wanting to talk to her for a while because I want to know what's going on.
It is the 16th.
On Thursday, December 28th, Gypsy walked out of prison into the loving arms of her new husband and family, but her former online lover, Nicholas Godejohn, remains in prison for the rest of his life. And here's why.
The Wisconsin man serving a life sentence for killing a Springfield woman is hoping for a new trial.
A jury convicted Nicholas Godejohn of murder for the stabbing death of Gypsy Blanchard in 2015. Francis Watson is live in our newsroom with the latest legal moves. Francis.
Nicholas has always asserted he committed the crime of murder to save his innocent girlfriend from a life of imprisonment and abuse at the hands of her mother. But as Gypsy has neared closer and closer to the date of her release, Nicholas has begun publicly asking for a re-evaluation of his case, pleading for mercy, enlisting many who empathize with the plight of this man, diagnosed with autism, leading an isolated life, who fell in love with a girl online and killed to protect her.
In our recent video about Gypsy Rose Blanchard, numerous comments surfaced requesting an update on her boyfriend, Nicholas Godejohn. While many expressed satisfaction with the sentence he received, viewing him as a dangerous criminal deserving of his current situation and a potential ticking time bomb prone to reoffending, if given a chance, a substantial number of people also showed overwhelming sympathy, believing that Nicholas was manipulated by Gypsy, taking into account his mental challenges.
You see, there are several reasons for the differences in sentencing between Gypsy and Nicholas. Godejohn, who was actually convicted of carrying out the murder of Gypsy Blanchard, had a past criminal history. It's something Godejohn and his attorneys would like all of us to forget about and not bring up publicly any longer. But keeping in mind that Godejohn has a diagnosis of autism, potentially leading to a general issue with socialization, we need to be aware of Nicholas's history. Back in 2013, Godejohn, who was 23 at the time, was accused of watching porn at a McDonald's for nearly 9 hours. Customers spotted him with his hands down his pants and they called the police. He then told police that while he looked like he was engaging in something inappropriate in a public space, he was actually just scratching himself. But the police didn't buy it, and he was charged with carrying a concealed weapon because he had a large folding knife in his pocket, and also disorderly conduct for the inappropriate behavior he was participating in. Whereas Gypsy appeared in court with clearly no past evidence of having committed any crimes.
He remains incarcerated for the rest of his life.
Nicholas Godejohn also admitted to violent fantasies with a history of being sexually inappropriate in public. And after their arrest, Gypsy soon parted ways with Godejohn. But it seemed as though Godejohn, who was sentenced to life in prison, was having trouble accepting his fate and letting go of Gypsy, who had been given a much shorter sentence. In a 2019 interview with Oxygen, Godejohn continually refers to Gypsy as his soulmate, despite the fact that they had not been in touch for years. Nicholas Godejohn continued to state that his relationship with Gypsy, which was conducted mostly online, was something that he called the quote-unquote best days of his life. I enjoyed every second of it, said Godejohn in his Oxygen interview, which was conducted from prison. From the beginning, I just knew we were soulmates. He also told the network he had imagined they would probably end up marrying and end up having children together. And it's here that we need to look into the truth behind Nick and Gypsy's relationship. I do believe we will find out more about the reality from behind the scenes when we get a chance to look at Gypsy's new book being released on January 9th. However, current evidence has been found online of Gypsy and Nicholas's communications moving heavily towards what most of us would consider inappropriate. But first, let's take a look backwards at who Nicholas Godejohn was before he ever met Gypsy.
Nicholas Godejohn was born on May 20th, 1989, in Big Bend, Wisconsin, USA. Born to Bobby Godejohn and Stephanie Goldammer, his parents parted ways when he was approximately 4 years old.
Nicholas's parents divorced. He lived with his mother until high school, but then left his mother's home and rejoined his father for the rest of his high school career. Then, once again after high school, Nicholas left the home of his father and rejoined his mother and her new husband in the home he lived in when he started his relationship with Gypsy Rose.
Diagnosed with autism during his early school years, Nicholas spent his entire academic journey from kindergarten to 12th grade in special education.
This cannot be overlooked, and it is a big part of what sympathizers point to as being a major reason why Nicholas deserves legal review of his case. So many questions, like did he truly understand his rights during interrogation? Was he of sound mind when committing these murders? And even in his guilt, how can we best hold and treat a person with neurodivergence who literally believed he was riding in on a white horse to save Gypsy? Or is that really what Nicholas believed he was doing?
It was hard for him to make friends. However, his young adulthood proved even more isolating as he developed an interest in computers with aspirations of becoming a computer repairman. Unfortunately, this endeavor did not materialize as expected. Nicholas recalled, "I tried to get into computer programming, but they weren't too happy with how long I was taking to grasp it all."
From Gypsy's point of view, Nicholas seemed proficient at communicating with her online. And Gypsy has made claims that Nicholas told her he had multiple personality disorder and that he needed her to come up with girlfriends for each of his personalities. So she did. According to Gypsy, Nicholas had disturbing and violent tendencies when it came to their physical relationship. Allegedly, Nicholas even asked to do something inappropriate with her mother after the murder. But Godejohn has gone through a lot of changes over the past couple of years while living his life in prison. Godejohn has moved on to saying that he feels betrayed by Gypsy. I loved Gypsy to the point where I would do anything for her. I've proven that with what I did. Unfortunately, because of how far I went, I feel as if she's betrayed me. I feel that she's abandoned me. There is a part of me that will probably always loved her, but she's hurt me so badly.
Why did you agree to do this interview with us?
The reason I've agreed to do this interview was because when I noticed that my ex-co-defendant, Gypsy Blanchard, got a lot of attention, as she did, and she just kept on getting more and more attention. I felt that it's been tipped in one side of a scale where I really wasn't getting much coverage. I wasn't being able to actually be able to voice my opinion. I wasn't able to let everyone know what I truly feel. I just know that she knows. She knows that I've taken the responsibility for mine already. I still have feelings for her, and of course I will always have feelings for her. But every human being needs to grow and learn from their mistakes, and I feel that's where me and her both are right now. We're learning from this mistake that we've both made.
Godejohn's lawyers are now describing him as a low-functioning person with autism. They claim that he was so in love with Gypsy and so obsessed with her that he would do anything for her. And his lawyers have made it clear they believe Gypsy knew that. They have gone as far as to question whether or not Gypsy was intentionally manipulating Godejohn.
I mean, the way she was raised, no woman should ever, no child for that matter, should ever have to be raised that way. I did feel that she was not taking responsibility for her actions, but at the same time, due to the way I know she was raised, I can't blame her. I can't. That, and along with my religion, with being a Christian, I know I'm not supposed to judge, so I'm not going to judge. It's just not part of who I am. I just won't do it.
There is so much more to discuss about the evolution of what's going on with Nicholas Godejohn. We're awaiting the release of Gypsy's book in order to receive greater insight into her perceptions of what may have been going on with Nicholas. But I want to continue to go further down this rabbit hole. Join me tomorrow as we review the interrogation tapes of Nicholas Godejohn and his mother in search of greater insight to what's going on with Nicholas. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow as we head further down this rabbit hole.